And we're going. Hello, welcome to another episode of Ageless and Unapologetic with your host, Vanessa J, and my dear friend, Tina Margaris. We're so excited to have you here. And today we're going to talk about a subject that we were both shocked about is the 5 different hormone types when it comes to unexpected weight gain. So I'm pretty excited about this topic. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really like what your weight gain is telling you in regards to your hormones. Like what hormone is causing what weight gain to happen where.
Yeah.
But I thought it was super interesting when you brought this topic to me, Vanessa, because I think it's not just like calories or our age, like your body's giving you clues about your weight gain. Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll point like, hey, you're really stressed and this is why the weight gain's happening. Or it's your blood sugar. This is why the weight gain's happening. Or you're super inflamed. This is why the weight gain's happening. Or lifestyle.
Yeah.
That needs some tweaks.
And I think, that happens to a lot of us ladies. We look at our friend next to us, we're like, well, we're eating the same food. Like, why is her body this way? Or we go to the closet and we're going, why is fat being distributed here now? Or you go to the doctor and they say, well, you just have to lose weight. And you're like, it's not just about weight. Like something is going on and it's a deeper thing, but your hormones are working differently in your body and they are in mine as well. And so we're all reacting in different ways. And so I actually came across this article, and this is how we were inspired to talk about this because, we're not a one size fits all, and that's okay. But when we understand, that's maybe the root cause of why this is happening, I thought this was a really good one to talk about today. So we're going to get into it. So 5, Tina, you want to start with the first one? I think you could talk about the first one pretty easily.
Yeah,
5,
I can. And the thing too is when you can recognize what the cause is, then you can start to make adjustments towards fixing it, right?
Exactly.
So obviously this one is, and I have talked about it for so many years, a lot is, right, cortisol, right? Our stress hormone, and that's stress weight. And it is really the belly fat hormone because we have cortisol receptors in our abdomen. And when our cortisol is high, and it is always unnaturally high once we're in menopause, then you are going to start to see weight around the stomach. So even those people that are like generally always super thin, they may see that little bit of weight starting to come around their tummy, and they will feel like, oh, I'm bloated, or it's weird. You will feel a number of different things when it is your cortisol hormone that's causing the weight gain. You're going to have cravings for salty and sugary things. Your sleep will be poor. That will be when you're waking up in the middle of the night. You're holding on to weight despite the fact you're working out, wired and tired. Like you are exhausted by 3 p.m. and kind of crashing, feeling like I need caffeine is the only thing you can think about. That is your cortisol causing your weight gain. And you, like I said, you're mostly going to see that weight gain around your belly. And it's the stress hormone, like cortisol is already jacked. But if you have chronic stress or you're overworking, doing too much cardio can raise your cortisol even more. Not giving yourself time off or resting, like working out too much kind of thing. And really like poor sleep. It's so hard. You really have to try to prioritize sleep, skipping meals.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Raise your cortisol. So some of the tips, like I think, is number 1, you've got to always prioritize protein. Maybe walking instead of like doing super hard workouts all the time. Trying to get some sort of sleep routine going, like take your magnesium, brush your teeth, lower the lights. I've seen some women on their nightstand lamp put a red light.
Yeah, I've seen a few people do that as well.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
And then doing, instead of endless cardio, you want to do a little bit more strength training or nervous system support. Also, too, staying hydrated. If you are allowing yourself to be dehydrated, your stress hormone or your cortisol is going to raise. So got to kind of just like protect yourself from the stress.
Yeah, I feel too that there is different types of stress as well. Like, that daily stress, the notifications, like that kind of stress is almost more damaging. When we are working out, yes, our cortisol does raise, but it's not necessarily the bad type of cortisol unless you're doing endless hours of cardio or hit workouts or whatever. But even for me, when it comes to like stretching after a workout, I really take time to like calm my nervous system down afterwards. Sometimes I'm just like lying on the ground, just lying on the ground after a workout, like quietly stretching and just letting my body kind of recalibrate, if that makes sense. So cortisol, so the cortisol weight is the belly.
Correct.
So remember, we're talking about the 5 different hormone body types. So depending on what hormone is really being activated in your body. So we're talking about cortisol. So you're going to see that mostly around your belly, which you might have like the littlest legs, but then your belly, you're like, what the heck is going on? Which, I think so many of us can relate to. So, all right. So the second
when you
one.
said that, it reminded me of like the Glossette raisins. Like in the commercial. Okay, sorry, but that's a picture that came into my mind. Like a raisin body with the little arms and little legs. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Okay, so body type number 2 is the insulin and blood sugar weight. So you're seeing belly, you're seeing back fat. This is from cravings and energy crash. Energy crash it. Energy crashes. So okay, now again, this is something that I'm learning, but you're looking at. So if you're struggling with things like craving carbs, sweets, energy crashes, you're hungry all the time. So, we talk a lot about food noise, so you just feel like you're hungry all the time, you're thinking about food all the time. And one thing that's really interesting is you have brain fog after you're done eating. So if you're eating and then it's almost like you're in like a food coma. It's like, I need to be productive, I need to be clear-headed, but it's almost like you can't. That is a sign of insulin or blood sugar imbalance. So support things that you can do is protein, for sure. We talk about that at every single meal, making sure you're getting your fiber. Walking after meals, we've talked about this before. This can be so effective for you, like a quick 10 to 15 minutes after you're finished eating, just to help burn some of that glucose off. That's not only good for weight loss, but it's also really good for blood sugar balance. So that's something that you might want to think about. Better sleep, less liquid sugar.
Stop drinking soda.
So yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
Come on. If somebody drinks a Coke and they can clean a toilet with Coke, please, right? Think of what's in there. And did you know that when you drink a Coke, that the bad stuff from drinking that kind of stuff stays in your body for like 4 days? It's like a crazy amount of time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so like if you are that insulin person getting the back fat, like even me, like that's like one of my problem areas, that it's a sign too of like too high a sugar intake. Again, not enough protein. You're starting to hear like now 2 different things, and skipping meals. I said that again with the cortisol, right? So your blood, because like Vanessa said, you feel like snacking all day. So you're like a grazer, and then your blood sugar is spiking all day long. There's no rest.
Yeah. And I'll just pipe in really quick, especially us ladies who are in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, when our estrogen dips, that's when everything kind of goes a little bit out of whack. That's why we talk so much about blood sugar balancing meals, protein, fiber, carbs. When you balance your nutrition through food, it's not just about weight loss. It's about so many things, eating whole foods, balancing your plate. That's going to help balance your blood sugar levels. It's going to help with weight loss. It's going to help with energy. It's going to help with all of the things. So as you can see, there's definitely a trend, like Tina said, protein, fiber, balance, movement, water. Really.
Yeah. Okay, so the third one, we're going to talk about when your estrogen is really out of whack, where you start to gain the weight. So hips, thighs, and kind of like that puffy weight all over, that is estrogen imbalance. All right, so you can feel like that swollen, puffy all the time. If you are perimenopausal and you're still cycling, you're going to have like some crazy heavy periods in between, the months that you don't have them. Mood swings, breast tenderness, water retention, those are all signs that your estrogen is way out of whack. And so that is normal in midlife. It truly is, because as a woman, we all become estrogen deprived. I know. And then stress can contribute, like even poor detox pathways can contribute. So kind of like why we talk about eating whole foods and that sort of thing, like the less processed things you can eat, the better, so that you're not having to detox. Drinking alcohol, right? And then lack of any sort of movement, just living a super sedentary life can also contribute to you having that estrogen imbalance weight, right? Hips, thighs, that sort of thing. And so some of the things you can do, how many times are we going to say it? Protein, fiber, right? Walking, hydration, sleep pattern, those sorts of things will definitely help.
Yeah.
So we have now talked about, and I just want to do like a little reset. We talked about cortisol,
that's good.
Belly fat,
yeah,
right? And then we talked about the insulin, and that was belly fat and back fat.
Yeah.
Right? And now we're talking about the estrogen, and it's waist, hips, and thighs, and feeling that overall puffiness, like you are always water retention feeling, Okay, we're going to number 4, Vanessa.
Yeah, number four. It's kind of an aha, right? Like especially in this day and age, everybody's like, your cortisol is this. I mean, listen, we talk about all these things, but I also think that it's really good to know what's going on with your body. So even though the solutions are pretty common, it's interesting to pinpoint what might be going on with your body, if anything at all. So anyway, number 4 is low muscle, slow metabolism. So if you've ever felt skinny fat, I don't know I have in my life, or soft muscle tone, this is when you're feeling softer. It's harder to tone your body. It's almost like your body feels the same, the weight feels the same, but your body composition kind of changes. So a little bit looser, a little bit softer everywhere. You have lower energy, you're weaker, your muscles starting to disappear. And, listen, again, getting back to what might contribute to that, obviously, is so important. Protein. You're getting older, so aging is going to contribute to that. If you're not lifting weights, if you're not doing any kind of movement to help maintain and retain lean muscle mass as you get older, really important. If you're under eating, ladies, make sure you're eating enough. And of course, if you're doing too much cardio, again, things that worked for us when we were in our 20s and 30s don't quite work the same way as we get older. So you want to make sure that you are really doing like the age appropriate exercises, like walking, the most underrated form of movement, in my opinion, combined with weightlifting. This is like the perfect, for me, this is the perfect recipe for women in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, to lift weights. Like, I can't stress it enough. So yes, tips: eat enough protein, lift weights, make sure that you are recovering. Your muscle is made when you are resting. So whether that is active recovery, so walking, days where maybe you're doing yoga or Pilates, like low low impact exercise, or you're getting sleep, you're getting rest, you're taking it easy. And please, please, please stop being scared of calories, ladies. Eat your food, get your nutrition. Very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know now, listen, like there are so many women that are just feeling like overweight and just struggling, right? What they did before doesn't work. And we're here talking about the different hormones. But when we talk about somebody being skinny fat, there are a lot of women would be like, I would just do anything to be thinner, right? They're not really thinking about muscle.
Yeah.
Right. And we're here and we're saying, okay, like do some resistance. So Vanessa loves to lift weights. I use resistance bands.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't necessarily lift heavy weights. Everybody can be different. You can even just use your body weight, right, to do different things as resistance. But here is what's happening. You would do anything to be, I hate the word, but skinny, right? But if you are skinny fat, you have no metabolism. You are not metabolizing your food. You're not you are not getting oxygen into your blood cells, any of the things, right? Muscle weighs more than fat. So get off the scale, stay off the scale, and judge how you feel and how you look with your body. And muscle is a fast metabolizer. It metabolizes calories. It metabolizes everything, right? We want to be able to be metabolizing toxins, getting everything ready. If you are skinny and fat and skinny fat, whatever it's called, have no muscle, but you feel great because you think you're skinny, you're going to be very weak. You're not going to be able to hold yourself up, lift yourself up, tie your shoes, go for a walk, carry a suitcase, like do any of those things. Listen, just look at some of our parents. Right? Because it's a different generation. And this is a generation that knows better. So we have to be better so our kids aren't overburdened.
Yeah. I just want to add a little bit of personal thing. A few years ago when I had gained 26 pounds, part of that I believe at the time was cortisol, but I was skinny fat. And a lot of people could look at me like I was very proud. I was still wearing the same size jeans. I was still, I didn't go up in size in certain things. But if you were to pull out my stomach, it was loose. If you were to look at my arms, they would hang. And so some of you might look at I'm not saying you know what I mean, but like, for someone who talks about supplementation that would help with weight loss or help with body composition, from the outside looking in, you might say, why are you caring so much about weight loss or blah, blah, blah. I at one point cared a lot about weight loss. Now I care about muscle gain and body recomposition. But ultimately, I still struggle just like the next woman of like maintaining, right? Maintaining. It becomes a maintenance thing, you know what I mean? Because I think we can all agree if we don't maintain, things kind of fall apart. But most importantly, what Tina and I do is just share how we can be our best, healthiest selves. More muscle, better body recomposition. How can we be a little bit more effective and optimize our health? How can we notice what hormone is kind of maybe messing with us without having to go to the doctor? Because certain times we just need to tweak something on our own, right? And at the end of the day, it comes down to just that foundational stuff: walking, food, hydration, targeted supplementation,
For sure. Okay, let's talk about number 5. Okay. And it's basically like not like a hormone, the way we spoke of the other things, but it's bodily inflammation, right? So when you have a lot of body inflammation, oftentimes you have a lot of water retention. So you are puffy, swollen, inflamed. Your face is going to feel puffy. Your stomach feels always swollen. Your rings get tight. And I'm not just talking about a hot day. Like when your rings get tight. The scale can fluctuate a lot for you. Achy joints, just that overall feeling of achiness and being inflamed. And so it's kind of like all of the things we talked about, those hormones are contributing to that. If any one of those hormones are making you fat, you're inflamed. So it's stress, poor sleep, processed foods, alcohol, food sensitivities. I just want to touch this quickly, Vanessa. A majority of us don't have food allergies, but as we age, we become way more sensitive to certain things. For instance, gluten. We don't have a gluten allergy, but we'll have a gluten sensitivity, right? Where we get really inflamed or our joints are achy because we're eating too much gluten, or a dairy sensitivity.
I'm putting this to the test actually for the next couple of weeks because I've never omitted dairy and gluten. And I'm like, I'm just curious to see if that actually affects me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but grains, like those sorts of things. You can have sensitivities to those. And then obviously the normal hormonal shifts. So what can you do? It's this. I hope you're hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Eat your protein, go for walks, right? Make sure you're hydrated, try some resistance training, and try to lower your stress so that you are getting some sleep in the way of some sort of setting aside just 20 minutes before bed to turn your scrolling down, have a routine, get you ready for bed. So we do want to say too that we are not giving medical advice. We're here to educate you. And there's a lot of different things that Vanessa and I have utilized over the years to combat some of the things that are happening with stress and cortisol. It's the ability to be able to use adaptogens, right? Mm-hmm. Adaptogens are herbs, and they help us physiologically and psychologically, right? As far as our cortisol goes, or getting more protein in. We utilize either a whey protein powder, or for me, I use a pea protein, like a plant-based protein powder, because we're trying to get that amount of protein in, which ideally is about 100 grams a day. So different supplementation like that. I think when we're trying to, and listen, we'll be the first to tell you that we've also used thermogenics, right? Where we've used something that has special, like, natural substances in it that's going to help our body heat up a little bit so that we can, be revving our metabolism. And things like that have like chromium picolinate in it, L-carnitine, a little bit of green tea, those sorts of things, natural things. But ultimately, the world of nutraceuticals is moving forward at lightning speed. I don't mind saying. And what was mainstream before was like, hey, take this supplement, that supplement. You're going to take a sleep aid that has GABA, L-theanine, and has melatonin in it. You're going to, I don't know what else. Don't ever stop taking collagen, magnesium, or vitamin D. Sorry. Those are staples no matter what. Yeah. Magnesium is a mineral that 98% of North Americans are deficient in. Vitamin D is so important now. It's considered a hormone in the medical community. And collagen, well, our skin, our skin is a living organ, 89% of our body, not to mention that all our connective tissues, soft tissues inside and out are made of collagen, and we lose collagen at an alarming rate. I no longer create collagen naturally at the age of 62.
Yeah, super important for our structure.
There's all those things, but then there's also now therapeutic peptides. And Vanessa and I have made the choice to be early adopters to utilize oral therapeutic peptide stacks, and been able to do away with a lot of those supplements.
Yeah. I save a ton of money, honestly. Like, an elephant in the room. Sometimes people are like, why are these so expensive? You have to remember peptides aren't supplements. They're peptides. Peptides versus supplements are very, very different where you might be lacking something in your body, you will supplement with. So vitamin D, collagen, etc. Peptides, you are literally turning on light switches again in your body that have gone dormant. So your body starts to function the way it used to. So very, very, it's like apples and oranges, but I've been able to no longer spend money on certain supplements because I just don't have the need for them anymore. But the foundational stuff, like Tina said, calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, I mean, we need those. That's for sure. Anything else that we forgot there?
Yeah, well, I think, listen, we're not going to dive into the peptides today, although I will say that, as being part of like teaching integrative health, right, and helping menopausal women for the last 8 years, it's super important that we move forward with the times. And soon, I think a year from now, the whole world will know more and more about peptides. We created a tiny little peptide guide just for midlife women. So maybe you recognized your weight gain in those hormonal shifts that we talked about. Tell us about it. Or reach out to us in Messenger and say, I saw what you talked about, I'm having those problems. But if you want for yourself this little peptide guide, type guide in the comments. Vanessa and I will share with you a little guide. We do not use injectable peptides at this time, right? Mm-hmm. We are currently utilizing oral peptides, tiny little tablet, one a day. And the nice thing is that there are 3 different focuses. One is on change of body composition, holding lean muscle, building lean muscle, and rejuvenating our cells. The second one is really for weight loss. It has studies comparable to GLP-1s without the side effects, along with clearing the brain fog and healing our tissues. And then the third one is really focused on skin, hair, nails, healing our gut and tissues. So it has a copper peptide in it, which is so amazing. So we have those 3 focuses that we're sharing with midlife women. So type guide. We'll send it to you in Messenger. You can look at it yourself. You can come back, ask us questions. Anything else, Vanessa?
No. And if any of this resonated with you, I'm so curious. Like if you're like, I'm cortisol, yeah. Like I want to know, like put like, oh, that's me, like that's me to a T, because there's a few things that we went over today. I was like, oh yeah, that was totally me. Yeah, that was totally me.
Yeah, I think too, I think I was like a combo. I tend to hold my weight like on my thighs, but then when I started to have like these symptoms, I was the insulin sensitive one. For sure.
I was I was estrogen for sure. The thighs, hips, and cortisol, 100%.
Yeah.
And
tell us what you are.
We're here to help. A little bit of everything. Yeah.
But just don't discount what we're sharing with you in regards to peptides. They're going to change your life.
Yeah, they will. They really will. So on that note, listen, we keep saying, we're like, let's keep it at 20 minutes because nobody stays for 30 minutes. And then, of course, we stay on till 30 minutes. But you guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We're always here to help. And on that note, we wish you the best day ever. We'll talk to you.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Yep.